America's food system is at a crossroads. With rising rates of obesity, diabetes, and chronic illness, the industrial food complex has become a silent killer. But one political figure, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., is ready to take on the system and challenge the status quo. His mission? To dismantle the industrial food empire and rebuild a healthier, more sustainable America. But how did we get here, and can RFK Jr. succeed where so many have failed? The industrial food complex wasn't always this way. After World War II, America's food production underwent a revolution. The introduction of high-yield crops, synthetic fertilizers, and large-scale farming seemed like the solution to end hunger. But this transformation came with hidden costs. Today, the U.S. food system prioritizes efficiency and profit over health. Monoculture farming dominates, producing staples like corn, soy, and wheat that fuel a billion-dollar processed food industry. But this approach has left America with soil degradation, depleted nutrients in our crops, and an over-reliance on chemical pesticides and herbicides. As processed foods filled grocery store shelves, Americans' health began to decline. Obesity rates have tripled since the 1970s, and diseases like diabetes and heart conditions have skyrocketed. The question is, can this system be fixed? Enter Robert F. Kennedy Jr., an environmental attorney turned political firebrand. Known for taking on corporate giants like Monsanto and DuPont, RFK Jr. has set his sights on the industrial food complex. He believes the current system isn't just failing, it's actively harming Americans. The industrial food system is designed to make us sick. It prioritizes profits for big food and big pharma at the expense of public health. We need a complete overhaul to put people's health first. Kennedy has been especially critical of federal agencies like the FDA and USDA, accusing them of being too cozy with corporate lobbyists. He's called for greater transparency and stricter regulations to hold food companies accountable. So what exactly is wrong with America's food system? Let's start with the basics. Ultra-processed foods. These are the packaged snacks, sugary cereals, and frozen meals that make up 60% of the average American diet. Ultra-processed foods are packed with refined sugars and unhealthy fats that spike blood sugar, promote inflammation, and lead to metabolic dysfunction. They're essentially addictive. We've created a system where people eat junk, get sick, and then rely on big pharma to stay alive. It's a broken cycle that benefits corporations but destroys lives. Behind the scenes, the industrial food complex is driven by a handful of powerful corporations. Companies like Monsanto, Cargill, and Tyson Foods control much of the food supply, dictating farming practices and lobbying for favorable policies. In 2022 alone, Big Food spent over $30 million lobbying Congress. Their influence extends to dietary guidelines, school lunch programs, and even public health campaigns. The result? A system that prioritizes profit over health. We need to take back control of our food system. That means breaking up monopolies, supporting small farmers, and demanding transparency from food companies. The problem doesn't end with food. Modern medicine often treats the symptoms of poor diet rather than addressing the root causes. Chronic diseases like diabetes and hypertension are managed with medication instead of prevention. Why aren't we focusing on prevention? It's because there's no money in keeping people healthy. Big pharma and big food are two sides of the same coin. The solution lies in educating people about the power of nutrition and lifestyle changes. We need to move away from a system that profits off disease. While Kennedy's crusade has gained traction, it hasn't been without resistance. Critics on the left have questioned his motives, citing his controversial stances on vaccines and environmental policies. Some argue that Kennedy's rhetoric overshadows the validity of his critique. Others believe the left's reluctance to engage with these issues reflects a deeper problem, a fear of challenging the status quo. So what's the solution? Kennedy's vision includes a comprehensive plan to rebuild America's food system, support regenerative agriculture, shift from industrial monoculture to farming practices that restore soil health, local food systems, invest in farmers, markets, and community-supported agriculture to reduce dependence on big food. Consumer education. Launch public health campaigns to raise awareness about the dangers of processed foods. Policy reform. Strengthen regulations to hold corporations accountable for their impact on public health. If successful, Kennedy's reforms could transform the way America eats, leading to healthier lives, reduced healthcare costs, and a more sustainable future. But the challenges are immense, from overcoming corporate resistance to shifting consumer habits. One thing is clear: the fight to fix America's food system has begun. Whether Kennedy can succeed remains to be seen, but his campaign has sparked a critical conversation that America can no longer ignore.